Hey guys and girls, my name is Alan and welcome to today's gameplay commentary. As you can see, today we're returning to Uncharted 4 multiplayer.
So eager.
And as you can see, I'm about to play a TDM on the map Island. And I'm playing as Chloe. I mean, who else would I pick, right? So I hope you're having a good weekend. Today is a Saturday, at least I hope it's a Saturday when this video goes up. If you're under 18 and in the UK, you're on summer holidays now. If you're over 18, it's probably just a normal working week, so... But yeah, you're still on a weekend, so I hope you're having a good Saturday anyway. Today's topic, I'm going to be talking about TDM on Uncharted 4 multiplayer. I mean, if you follow the channel for a while, you know I'm quite a big fan of TDM. But mainly I play on things like Call of Duty and stuff like that, first-person shooters. Don't really play that much TDM in games like Uncharted. I can play it, but I don't think I'm particularly good. Or maybe I don't know, I don't know whether it's because I'm not very good at it, therefore I don't like it, or I don't like it, therefore I'm not very good. It's one or the other. But I don't seem to perform as well in third-person TDMs as I do in first-person TDMs. Everyone's different, obviously. Everyone plays their own thing, so you know, maybe it's just me. Here, me and my teammate, we sort of push together at the same time, which works out well. But then I get hit from behind from this dude, and I didn't even know he was there, so I don't know whether he flanked, as in he came through the tunnel or wrapped around the other side and jumped over the edge to get me, or he was there with this other person. But I only saw the one, so I don't know where he came from particularly. Anyway, so yeah, today I'm just going to go over some of my thoughts on TDM. The biggest thing that kind of bugs me a little bit is that obviously it's team deathmatch. You're meant to play as a team, right? I understand the concept. I'm not completely stupid, but I just feel that sometimes, and I don't know if maybe it's just because I'm playing with randoms all the time. But it just seems as though if you go around together as a team, as you know, as I guess you should do, you do generally better, and it's harder to break a team like that down, and especially so in TDM because you can obviously get revives. Therefore, you deny the enemy team, you know, getting the target of 40 KOs, and also it's just like running into a 5-man squad, and it's hard to do anything. And as I said, I don't know if it's just because of me playing with randoms, but maybe that's part of the reason why I'm not enjoying myself as much. Maybe I just need to get myself a team. But I don't really play that regularly. You know, I work full time pretty much, and then obviously I do this stuff on the side YouTube. So I don't have a lot of I don't have like a lot of scheduled free time. Put it that way. I guess I'm also kind of disorganized as well. Those who know me in real life know that I can be organised, but most of the time I'm just, yeah, I do what I need to do at the time, and I don't really plan too well in advance, unless it's work related, in which case I'm kind of on top of that. But that's because I have to be. But if it's an optional thing such as gaming and stuff like that, I just kind of do it as and when. So yeah, that's probably the biggest thing that annoys me, is that when you've got a bunch of randoms who don't really gel together, and you face another bunch of randoms, or indeed a full party on opposite team, and they sort of just, you know, they stick together and work together well, then it's really hard to break that sort of team down, and it's almost impossible to win. You're not going to win against a team like that, because as I said, they're going to be reviving each other, so they're going to be stopping you from getting KOs, and when you run into them, even though you might down 1 or 2 of their players, if there's 2 or 3 more there with them to back them up, then you're going to get put down, you're going to get taken out, you're going to get KO'd, and then they're going to get the revives on their teammates. So again, another reason why it's really hard to win. So I mean, yeah, I don't know, maybe, as I said, maybe it's just me. I'm kind of going the same point over and over again. TDM does vary from Plunder and Command quite a bit. You might not think it, but like the strategy for playing TDM is completely different to the strategy you would employ playing Plunder or Command. And maybe I don't play it enough to know all the strategies, but I do know that it's completely different. For example, you do get a lot more cash in TDM than you would in Plunder and Command. You can pick up treasure, which gives you like 200, I think. Whereas in Plunder and Command, it's only based on how you play the objective and how many kills you get versus the opposite team. So there's a lot more money floating around, therefore there's a lot more sidekicks floating around. And the types of sidekicks you'll encounter will generally differ as well. Whereas in objective-based game modes, you're more likely to run across like medics and things like that, support roles sort of thing. Whereas in TDM, you've got more aggressive attacking styles from players, and you're more likely to come across hunters, chokers, you know, and brutes. So again, the weapons that you need to bring into battle, the perks, not the special abilities, but the sidekicks that you bring yourself, and your mysticals if you carry any of those, maybe even gear as well, can differ quite a bit when it comes to TDM, because the objective is to get kills, right? And and so you'll see a lot more offensive type gameplay styles rather than in objective, where you can sort of, you get a mix. You know, some people are quite aggressive attacking, some people like to defend, so they'll bring things like mines and C4, and so, you know, obviously the playstyle is different. And so yeah, there's more money floating around, so there's more stuff to deal with. That player there, I don't know if they didn't see me, or if they're just a noob, or maybe they just didn't like me for whatever reason. Didn't revive me, and so that was unnecessary death and a KO for the enemy team. But again, I mean, that relates to the first point, right? I was talking about how players are kind of, you know, randoms playing together don't really gel that well. Cheeky little cross map nade there, KO. So I mentioned earlier that there's more cash floating around, and the majority of that cash is going to come from picking up treasures. Now, treasures are those little diamond icons dotted around the map, and I think there's like 3 or 4 per map, and they're on a set rotation. So once you picked one up, you know that in a couple of minutes or so it will respawn there, so you can come around and pick it up again. So a good thing to do is if you roll around as a pack with your team and just rotate these treasure spawns, you can all get a nice amount of treasure, and then you can obviously spend those in store to get such as, you know, sidekicks and mysticals. They will in turn help you, you know, obviously get kills or save each other or help each other get kills, that sort of thing. And something to mention is like things like Staff of Manco. I mentioned earlier how mysticals and sidekicks will change depending on what game mode you play. And in TDM, I find that there's a lot more things like chokers and Staff of Mancos being used, whereas in Plunder, it's, you know, it's usually brutes or medics. So you've got to think of different ways to counter these. And obviously, when someone's using a staff, you need to either use a silencer to stay off the radar, or even use a stealth perk. And I know I've got a couple of stealth classes, and I've mentioned it before. You should have a variety of classes to use in certain circumstances. And if someone on the opposite team is using Staff of Manco, you've got to be really careful, because again, if you roll together as a team, if no one's using it, then if someone gets pinged, then everyone gets pinged basically. And even if you've got the stealth on, you sort of need to break away from your team, which is going to make life difficult for yourself. But at the same time, I guess if they're assuming that everyone's on the radar, then you sort of can get an advantage. So again, different play styles, different tactics that you need to adjust to when playing team deathmatch. Yeah, I think another good point to discuss is that Uncharted 4's multiplayer in general, and TDM especially, is worlds apart from what it was previously. In Uncharted 3, it was already there was quite a lot of stuff going on, you know, kickbacks and stuff being used. But in Uncharted 4, there is way more stuff to think about, and as I said, a lot more different playstyles that you can adopt. And if you compare it to Uncharted 2, which is, well, that's absolutely, it might as well be a different game if you compare it to Uncharted 2, because there was none of this stuff going on. It was just basically just you, your gun, and enemy players, and that was it in Uncharted 2. But in Uncharted 3 and Uncharted 4, they seem to have just they've ranked it up a notch, and then ranked up another notch in this game. And yeah, maybe that's what I don't like. I kind of like my games, I don't like them to be simplified, but when it comes to like TDM and stuff like that, I prefer it to be just you and your skill versus another player and their skill. Whereas relying on all this other stuff is kind of, I don't want to say cheapens it, because obviously it's a different type of style of play, and you know, I can always go to a different game where none of this stuff is in there. But in the future, I'd like to possibly see a TDM version where they don't include all this kickbacks and not kickbacks, sidekicks and mysticals. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's still early days, relatively speaking. There's plenty of stuff they could add in terms of game modes, and obviously co-op still to come out, and once that comes out, I probably won't even be playing that much PvP and multiplayer anyway, so it's not that big a deal, I suppose, in the long run. Yeah, I think that's probably all that I need to cover for TDM. Not too much more I need to talk about, to be fair. Yeah, so the main thing is to go for the treasure drops, stick with your team, if you can communicate with your team, but I know that's not always going to happen, and yeah, get revives where possible. Don't let your teammates die. I mean, confirm the kills of enemy players for sure, but if you can bait them out or something, then use them as that instead, and then try and get more kills from it. But you don't want to get too cocky and let the entire enemy team rush you and then end up not getting anything whatsoever. Oh, this is a funny scene, I remember this. So me and this dude, obviously, he knows I'm there, I know he's there, and we just sort of just trying to wait each other out. And here I'm waiting for my nade to recharge, and you'll see in a second what I do once it does recharge.
Got some gear you can use.
Heads up.
Boom, got him. So yeah, I mean, I suppose we both played it quite smart, but I think he should have tried to. See, there's a lot of cover in this area here, so he could have got the advantage. He could have gone to higher ground. He could have run away. He could have done all sorts of things, but he decided to wait there. Again, I could have run away as well, but my position was a bit more. I mean, like, pushing forward because my team were there was probably the best option for me, and I eventually got the nade kill anyway. So yeah, I think smart play for myself there, if I do say so. But you know, I guess maybe he was a noob or something, but whatever. So yeah, so I do have a couple more topics I want to talk about, but then I have to wait until the next video now because this one's coming to an end. As you can see, the game is quite tight, and it will remain quite tight until the end of the match, but I won't remove the score for you, unless you've read the title or read the description, in which case you already know what the score is and the result, but I won't say it just in case you haven't. I get a cheeky little down there with a grenade while confirming another kill, so that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's good to sort of let the enemy team try and get revived, try being the key word there. You don't want to let them succeed or anything like that, and then obviously you get to confirm the kill, maybe get another one in the process, and then hopefully one KO becomes 2 KOs, maybe even more than that if you're lucky. But yeah, so I mean, I'm just gonna let this video roll out towards the end, but I think I'll end it here because there's not too much more to talk about. So yeah, until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the video, consider tapping that like button, I really do appreciate it. And as I said, more content to come over the coming weeks. Highlights collections are going up quite regular now. I think I'm getting like a good stream of footage, so I'm getting a load of clips and putting those into videos. And obviously, gameplay commentaries will be coming out, as I said, one for each of the games that I'm playing once a week. So one for Black Ops 3 and one for Uncharted 4. On my plays channel, actually, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've actually finished uploading Uncharted 2, and now I'm working on The Last of Us. The Last of Us I did complete a while ago, so it's been a long time coming, but I'm finally starting to upload those. So if you want to see any of my gameplays, head over to my plays channel, links in the description, as are all the other links. But yeah, until next time, thanks for watching, take care, and I will see you later.